lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amity Gilmour and this is my life. A couple of weeks ago I did a Q&A for Ehlers Danlos Syndrome and I answered your questions about my experience with EDS, aka Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. I actually got a whole heap of questions after I'd already filmed the video. Because of the amount of questions I got afterwards, I decided to do a part 2. Before we get into this video, I just want to say it is probably best if you watch number 1 first because there was some really cool questions in there. If you want to go check that video out here, you can go check that out before we start this one. However, if you've already seen that video, hello, let's get into the video.
Make things right. I hold you and wipe your tears.
So as I've explained, I have the hypermobile type of Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. There are different types of Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. There are over 13 types of Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, and the hypermobile type is the most common type among Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, and that's the type that I have. I have been told that I should probably get genetic testing just to double check I have, you know, other ones. That's what the rheumatologist basically wanted me to do. I haven't got to that point yet where I've got genetic testing. It's also quite expensive and I don't think it's covered in our country under the health system, so I don't think I'll be getting genetic testing anytime soon, but it's still something that's open. All right, let's get into the first question. How has your EDS and its effects impacted your social life? Okay, so this is a really good one. I'd say EDS and my comorbidities affect my social life quite a lot. For instance, I get a lot of fatigue, and I know that a lot of that fatigue can be produced by Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, but it can also be produced as a fact that I'm not eating enough because of my gastroparesis, which is rather a comorbidity of Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, which is kind of, it's been described by my doctors as secondary to my Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. So basically what they're saying is they think Ehlers Danlos Syndrome caused my gastroparesis. I guess you could say if fatigue is part of Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, that's probably the way it affects me. I will go out for 2 hours max, and I will literally just need to go home and sleep or lay on the floor. I just get really tired and I just need to like either lay in bed and do some stuff on my computer or do some stuff in bed or just like sleep, like full on sleep, depending on how exhausted I am that day and how much I've pushed myself. And I would say it is quite hard because when you have Ehlers Danlos Syndrome or gastroparesis, your social life is very limited because you have to work around how your body is feeling and how you're feeling, and that can be really stressful at times, especially when I feel like a bad friend because I feel like my friends are waiting for me to be okay for them to hang out with me, and then sometimes like their plans are being worked around my plans, which I feel really bad about. I mean, I will say I have the most supportive friends. I have heard stories of people who have lost friendships and it's been pretty bad, but for the most part for me, like I haven't lost a friendship. My friends have been very supportive, like really supportive, and I'm just really blessed to have wonderful, amazing friends. What is the EDS symptom that causes the most trouble for you in your daily life? Probably the comorbidity of gastroparesis and everything that comes along with that. So the fatigue, the stomach pains, abdominal pains, cramps, so on, and just all the things that happen with that. That's probably the hardest thing. But if I was to say like in EDS alone, the thing that affects my daily life the most, probably the fatigue that comes along with it. I mean, I do have sore joints and stuff, but like I can deal with it. Like I feel like my joints aren't as bad as other people's, where it's like really hard to like deal with it. I feel like my joints, yes, they're sore, but they're not as sore as they are for other people. So it's like, I'd say it's more the fatigue and the comorbidities that I struggle with the most. Okay, so this question was asked in my previous video, however, it has an add-on to it, so I'm going to explain. But basically the question is, does any of your extended family have EDS or odd health problems that could be related to EDS? So I explained last video that we have a whole side of the family that we know hardly anything about, but there are some alarm bells there. However, we do have some odd health problems on my mum's side of the family, and they actually initially thought at first it was from my mum's side of the family. I have a grandma with chronic fatigue syndrome and POTS. And then I also have like other relatives with other conditions. I know that on my grandpa's side, there's a lot of heart conditions. So I guess there's that, but like not anything that like notably stands out as EDS. Due to the genetic nature of EDS, does this make you less inclined to want kids due to risks of passing EDS on? Okay, so I haven't actually thought about this. I would really love to have kids when I grow up, and I never used to. I know when I was younger, I was like, I don't want kids. Like, that's so, like, such a silly idea. Why would you have kids? But I was like very immature and little. And nowadays, I would really love to have kids. I actually don't know how the whole thing works with it. I do know I could probably pass it on, and so that would be hard. I don't know, like I really don't know because I haven't really thought this one through. I do know that the rheumatologist who diagnosed me asked me if I was planning on having kids in the near future, and I said not in the near future, but maybe in the distant future, because I mean I don't have a boyfriend or like anyone like special in my life right now, so I feel like kids is a long way off. But yeah, I haven't thought that one through. I know that I could pass it on. I don't know what the I don't know what the percentage is that I could pass it on. I would love kids, but that being said, there's also adoption, and unfortunately in Australia, adoption is really hard. It's not like America. Like America, I'm pretty sure adoption's probably hard over there too, but in Australia, adoption is extremely hard. Like it takes years to adopt. Kind of have to go through the foster care system for years before you can like adopt. Similarly, does this make your siblings less inclined to want kids since they might have the gene despite no symptoms? Eliza's over there. I'm gonna ask her this. Eliza, yeah. What do you think? Come over here.
What? I'm not coming over there.
Okay, you don't? Okay. I've got a question here. It says, similarly, does this make your siblings, so you, less inclined to want kids since they might have the gene despite no symptoms? Do you want kids?
I don't know.
You don't know? Can I just say my siblings are like very young, so they're like teenagers, so they're not really in that.
They're young.
That's okay.
16.
Yeah, okay, 16. Oh, I'm 16. I'm such a big girl.
Say young.
You are young. You are young. You're not like a baby.
At least I actually act my age.
Oh, ouch. Basically, she's saying she doesn't know, and I don't blame her because at that age, you kind of don't really think about these things. So, but good question though. Okay, so next question. Compared with normal, in quotation marks, normal people, what differences do you notice with your skin? Stretchier, softer, excess skin, more see-through or visible veins and blood vessels, easier to tear or bruise, odd-looking scars, slow wound healing, or any other differences? Okay, so this is a really good question. My skin is stretchy, but it's not as stretchy as like other people with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, but it is like, if you can see that, like that. So like it's stretchy, but it's like other people with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome can be like a lot more stretchier. And we'll also say about my skin that it's like got a feeling that it's like sort of velvety, but it's on borderline velvety smooth, so it's not like velvety smooth like other ones. Other things is a lot of time when I get like long-term scars, they don't indent, but they're like the opposite to indent, so they stick out. So I've got like a scar that I've had on my arm since I was, I don't know if you can see this. I've got a scar that's been on my arm since I was like a baby. Right, how do I put this? I don't know if you can see that there, but it's like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I also have quite notable stretch marks because with my gastroparesis I get bloating and my stretch marks never go away. They seem to just stay there. Another thing I noticed with my skin is if I'm wearing like high-waisted jeans, which I wear sometimes because I like to hide the bloating, but then it kind of makes it worse. So I don't know, I'm starting to realize that high-waisted jeans makes it worse rather than better. But if I wear high-waisted jeans, what happens is when I take them off, like I get a lot of indent of, basically I can see the button, where the button was, I can see everything, like I can see the writing that was on the back of the button. Like it just kind of, how can I show this without revealing too much? I can't show this without revealing too much, so we're not going to reveal anything. Also, I bruise very easily, so whenever I would go in and get my IVs, by the way, if you're a bit confused why I get IVs or you want to see why I have IVs, I do have a video, I filmed it, you can go check it up here when we're done. But basically, when I get my IVs, I have to get it like wrapped and I have to keep it like pressure on it, like pressure wrapped for like 2 days, otherwise I get massive bruising like all up in this area because I just bruise super easily. Another thing, it's really easy to see my veins. However, that might be due to the fact that I have pretty good big veins. Our family has pretty big veins. So I don't know whether it's the fact that my skin is transitioned or that word, whatever that word is, like see-through, or whether I just have big veins. But I can see like my veins, I can see quite a lot through my skin. Fatigue and pain are often very prominent in EDS. How do you combat fatigue and pain? So this one's a really good question. In terms of pain for my joints and stuff, I use Physiocrem, which is like, I don't know if it's available in your country, but in Australia we have it basically at the pharmacy, which is basically the drugstore, and we just get the Physiocrem bottle from like over the counter. So it's literally just, I can get it in the store and just pay for it. There's no prescription needed or anything. And I just rub it on. Mainly my legs get the sorest. In terms of pain with my stomach, I will put a heat pack on. Also, a big thing that I'm leaving out is I'll also take painkillers. However, I'm very careful with my painkillers. Like I try not to take painkillers that much, and I try to only take painkillers when absolutely necessary. When I feel like, I don't know, when I feel like I'm about to, like a limb is about to be torn off or something like that. Like when that happens, I'll take a painkiller, and usually I'll start right at the bottom. I'll start with Panadol, and I'll take 1 Panadol. If that doesn't work, I'll take 2 Panadols, and then I'll wait till the next interval. If it gets worse and worse, I might progress to a Nurofen, and if it gets even worse, then I will progress all the way up until Tramadol. Tramadol is like very rare that I use it though, because I a lot of the time will just try and get through the pain with a Panadol, which doesn't work. It's bad. It means I can't sleep very well, but I mean, I'm not really keen on taking Tramadol and Nurofen because it clogs you up a lot, and my intestines aren't very good. So if they get more clogged up than they already are, it causes more pain. So it kind of is just contributing to the problem rather than helping it. So that was my video for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I haven't been doing vlogs. I do have a vlog coming up. However, I just haven't really had the time to do vlogging at the moment because there's been a big thing happen in my life that I'm transitioning to, and I will explain later. You'll find out, but yeah. Anyway, if you liked this video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you liked it even more, then don't forget to click that subscribe button. You can also follow me over my Instagram at Amity Gilmour, and don't forget to ring the notification bell in order to stay updated for new videos coming from me every Saturday at 9 AM. Love you guys, bye.